catheter, just let me. Okay, 1 second. Now, the thing is, normally when we do, I mean, we have been doing this since last 1 year. Whenever we do internal pudendal artery stenting for a male erectile dysfunction, essentially there has to be two things. These patients have to be excluded of any psychological cause or a medical cause. Secondly, there is a psychological and neurological assessment. Then these patients go for a penile Doppler. We have Dr. Kapoor with us, who is an expert, and he does penile Dopplers, I think, for all over Delhi. And you give an intracavernosal injection of pepaverine, about 60 milligram, and then wait for a tumescent response, and you also wait for then see what is the incremental increase in the peak velocity of the penile blood flow. Now, if it is less than 25 centimeter per second, this clearly signifies that there is a severe degree of inflow obstruction. Now, these patients also have to be complex ED patients. That means these patients have to fail Viagra therapy. So, they have failed Viagra therapy, and then if you have these conditions, you suspect an internal pudendal artery or stenosis in the anterior trunk of the internal iliac arteries. There is an inflow obstruction. So, these patients then qualify for an angiogram, and once if on an angiogram we find that the internal pudendal artery has a stenosis, or there is an inflow stenosis into the anterior trunk of internal iliac artery, then we go ahead and treat these patients, and most of these patients then with Viagra therapy start responding, and but the rate is quite variable. There have been a Zen trial which has been just completed. The benefits are quite variable and subjective. We still need to know what needs to be done. In this patient, the penile velocity was, I think, CT angiography is also good, but the CT angiogram is a good technique, but CT angiogram many a times will not sort of give us the exact anatomy. And many a times we do CT angiogram, but to know what is the degree of tortuosity, what hardware to choose, especially if you are considering less use of the contrast. But you know, in our practice, we normally do an angiogram, and we also do a coronary angiogram. Like this patient had an angioplasty done in Afghanistan 2 years back. His stress test is negative. We have done a coronary angiogram also, which shows a disease in the LAD beyond the stent, and also a disease in the mid RCA. So, if you have any questions, it's okay. Otherwise, we are going to proceed and show you what we are, the angiograms and what we have done. Yeah. You know, it's like both. You need to have friends with endocrinologist, urologist, and good like Dr. Kapoor, who does the penile Doppler for the entire city. So I know exactly if there is a patient, and then we can talk to the doctors and tell them that this is one of the ways we can treat them. And many patients do come to us, and now slowly and slowly the patient referral is you know, they've started talking to each other and started coming. The usual size would vary from, I would say the usual size is would be around 2 to 3 millimeter, but it's variable. That's number one. The number two, pudendal artery, you know, it comes off in a variety of variations from the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery. So it's not always one path, and it's sometimes very, very tortuous. So you need to take many, many angulations to actually get into that artery, and then pass in devices and wires into that hardwares into the internal pudendal artery. We have up till now done about 14 cases. Yes, we always look at both the arteries. In fact, the next step is to do an angiogram of the bifurcation, common iliacs and internal iliac artery. The block could be anywhere, and then go selectively into the internal iliac artery, The internal iliac artery normally divides into two major trunks. One is the anterior trunk and one is the posterior trunk. And the internal pudendal artery is one of the branches of the anterior trunk. So the stenosis could be on right any part from the anterior trunk down to the distal part of internal pudendal artery. Normally, we check both. We treat one at a time. Yes. Yes. Normally, if the patient is symptomatic, you have a problem on both sides. But usually both sides, unless the other side is very small, and or a diffusely diseased vessel, like in this case, and also, we treat one vessel at a time. And initially, we are not, because it's not a very established procedure, we started with balloons and then only a bailout stent. Now we have gone from balloons to drug-eluting balloons and sometimes elective stenting. Yeah, I mean, the whole concept actually started about 15 to 18 years ago, but it's becoming, more this catching a lot of interest now, especially in patients who have failed Viagra therapy and are quite symptomatic with this. And I would just take you through some. You have to take many, and I'll just show you the angiogram. Can I have the first one, right from coronary? Coronary, sir. Okay, so this is the angiogram of this patient. This is the coronary angiogram. Next, he had an LED stent. Next, and he has a disease in the OM, and also a disease post. Next, beyond the stent in the LED. Next, please. Next. Next. And he's got a next mid right coronary artery stenosis, which is about 70%. So whenever we do coronaries these days with patients who have impotence, we check the internal pudendal artery. And patients who come with erectile dysfunction, we always check the coronaries, because there is a very, very high degree of correlation between the two if you have established erectile dysfunction. Otherwise, if you have erectile dysfunction, the literature says you can actually predate or predict coronary artery disease at least 5 years ahead of an acute coronary event. Next, please. So the renals are okay. Next, please. So we went We went initially from the right side, like we do an angiogram from the right side. So we can see the common iliacs are okay. The internal iliac proximal and distal part are okay. Next, please. Then we go selectively into the anterior branch of the internal iliac artery. Next, please. We normally use a Terumo diagnostic catheter, sometimes a Siemens catheter, and you take a Terumo wire. Now we rotate normally for the left side. We take angulations which are iliocaudal and ariocaudal, and sometimes ariocranial, depending on the tortuosity of the internal iliac artery. So here we have engaged the catheter into the internal branch selectively into the anterior branch of the internal iliac artery, and we can see many branches coming off from there. Next, please. And then we go to the RA view. We can actually profile this long vessel which comes sort of crosses on the lower border is the internal pudendal artery. And there is a diffuse 70–80% stenosis, but 60–70% I would say, but it is not tight enough. And I don't want to actually dilate this, because I think this is not the major cause of blood supply which is less. Next, please. One more thing is, when we are working up these patients, you may have a pudendal artery block, and these patients could be a complex ED and failing Viagra therapy. But the more common vascular cause is a venous leak. You have to exclude a venous leak, and then if you, by exclusion, you only suspect that there is an inflow arterial problem, then you go ahead and do this. Otherwise, you are not justified to do this, because the most common vascular cause of erectile dysfunction is the venous leak. Next. So this is what we did on the right side, left side. Now we do on this with the same catheter. This is an IMA catheter. We go and hook the internal iliac artery from the right side. It's very easy. We can actually hook with the same catheter from the same side both the internal iliacs. Now we see that the anterior branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac has a tight stenosis. Next, please. This is another view. This is an RAO caudal view, and you see that there is a tight stenosis in the proximal part of the anterior trunk, and then there is a pudendal artery down, which is diffusely and narrowly stenosed, but not tightly stenosed. Next, please. So this is a tight stenosis in the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery and the pudendal artery, which seems to be okay. Next, please. This is another view, an RAO caudal angulation, which shows the pudendal artery in profile, and it doesn't seem to be critically narrowed. It's just a diffuse plugging.